It is game day on Shackelford Road, and with it, just hours remain in the ASUN women's soccer regular season. The finale tonight in Nashville, since two programs with quite different blueprints colliding as the sun sets here in this Green Hills neighborhood. For the second time this season, it is the conference's top scoring team versus the conference's best defensive team. Welcome to Lipscomb versus Bellarmine. Glad to have you with us. I'm John Freeman on a gorgeous evening. I know the soccer season took quite some time to get here, but now that it is here and in the spring, it has yielded some wonderful nights, and this is surely one of them. About 65 degrees, the sun covering about 80% of the field. We'll end this game under the lights and under the stars, but we will start it as the sun sets to our right. And these two teams, well, they're on different ends of the table. Lipscomb is the #1 seed in the ASUN tournament. Bellarmine is fighting tonight to avoid the ASUN tournament play-in game. The Knights come in at 2-5-2 overall, 2-3-2 in the ASUN. And those two wins in the ASUN do have them hovering above North Alabama. Now, the question is, can they get a result tonight, which is absolutely necessary for them if they want to avoid the ASUN tournament play-in round. On the other end, Lipscomb just waiting to find out who its opponent will be for their match next weekend in the ASUN tournament. So for the Bisons, their storyline tonight, it is their senior night, sending out Audrey-Ann Beck and Caitlin Eccles. And for Bellarmine, it is get a result at any cost. A draw will do for the Knights. A win would surely send shockwaves around the ASUN on the eve of its tournament. Bellarmine coming off its first multi-goal game in Division I history. 2-2 draw versus Liberty. They need a win to lock up what would be the North 3rd seed. They can finish no worse than the 4th seed in the division. And for Bellarmine, their blueprint is one of high defensive importance. This is a team that has only scored 5 goals, yet they're only allowing 10 shots a game. And they have really put a clamp down on several teams around the league. And for the first time this season, they've actually conceded in consecutive games. The first time in 2 years, you can say that. So here we go. Lipscomb and Bellarmine, the dynamic Bisons, the defiant Knights. The final regular season match of ASUN play. Bisons in the white kits and Bellarmine in the dark, traveling right to left. And for Melissa Gray, the goalkeeper for Lipscomb, the setting sun will be in her eyes for another about 35 or so minutes before it dips down. And the reason I know is, well, I called the game on Wednesday, same kickoff time, and Lipscomb routed North Alabama 7-0, a match where really their starters were pulled after roughly 35 to 40 minutes, and the players who began the game on the bench played pretty much the entirety of the remaining first half and then the rest of the second half. And if you were coming in thinking that Lipscomb might be tired playing its second match since Wednesday, well, the starters was essentially just a training exercise for them. Not a whole lot of action in that game. And here's an early foul on the Bisons. And for such a defensive team like Bellarmine, they do commit and throw numbers forward at set pieces. Team that's only scored 5 goals this year. Lipscomb scored 7 in its last match. To contrast that. But Bellarmine so stingy on defense and hope to be opportunistic on set pieces. Work to be done for Shelby Kraft, clearing as far as Alex Harbor. And Gray off her line for her first touch. Bellarmine's point of confrontation, which is a point on the field in which they begin to apply pressure, looks like it's moved up here from their earlier origins at the beginning of the season. Higher line of confrontation for the Knights. Samantha Ferry trying to latch on. And Bellarmine on the front foot here out of the gates. Sarah Kraus. Ferry jousting with Kraft. McFadden's clearance was handled by Natalie Teo. So yes, Bellarmine's only scored 5 goals all season, yet they still have 2 wins and 2 draws in the conference. And interestingly enough, Bellarmine played 5 home games. They were winless in all 5, but they're 2-2 on the road. And I talked to Kevin O'Brien, the Lipscomb coach, before this match started, and he said, yeah, the onus to attack is on us. Bellarmine needs a draw to accomplish their goal, which is to avoid the ASUN tournament play-in match versus North Alabama. And they'd be content, we would assume, with a 0-0 and get that result against the top team in the ASUN in Lipscomb. So the pressure and responsibility to be the protagonist is on Lipscomb in this match. But so far, Bellarmine carrying the bulk of the play. Tossed in to Ferry. Slashed in the direction of Molly Grant. Ellie Vandergriff with work to do. One back by Grant. Kelly Byler, second in the conference in goals with 8. She was first after her 2-goal match on Wednesday night. Has since been surpassed by Taya from North Florida and needs 2 goals tonight to win the ASUN regular season Golden Boots. Not bad for a box-to-box midfielder, not a forward, a central midfielder on the brink of leading the conference in goals. Grant, first touch carries her into the corner, plying away. Failed clearance. A shot from distance. Could not get through a forest of defenders. And Lipscomb twisting the tourniquet in the final third. Cross came in, went off the chest of the Bellarmine defender, retrieved by Kraft. It's a well-whipped ball towards Byler. Flicking along and Rogers taking over, but the flag is up on Rogers. In goal tonight for Bellarmine, Alyssa Francis. Redshirt junior from Evansville, Indiana. What a career she's had. It was eye-opening preparing for this match and going through past games, past seasons, and schedules for Bellarmine, and just looking at their defensive numbers. And the career of Francis highlights this team's defensive stubbornness. Last 2 years, 30 games, 16 goals allowed. 30 games, 16 goals allowed for Francis. Just 8 goals against this year, 3 clean sheets. Put that in perspective, Lipscomb has scored 14 goals, just over its last 3 games. Bit of fire and ice tonight. Bellarmine surging forward with Zamborini. Kraft cleaning up the remnants. Not the biggest stature for a center back, but quick, agile, smart, and Has some sneaky strength to her. And the goal kick is the final result of the corner encounter. Not a cloud in the sky. Can pick out every plane cutting through here in Middle Tennessee. Just a slight breeze. You can see it when this goal kick is taken right around midfield. The balloons for Senior Day swaying slightly in the direction that Bellarmine is attacking. Invasive run by Cammie Rogers. And again, Bellarmine will have to play it out with a goal kick. Bellarmine and Lipscomb, two of the smallest schools in the ASUN. Bellarmine, just 3,300 students. Private Catholic school opened in the 1950s. Just 3.5 miles east of downtown Louisville. Lipscomb slightly bigger, 4,500 students enrolled here in the Green Hills neighborhood of Nashville. And for all of our Bellarmine fans who are listening and haven't visited Nashville or maybe watched the TV show, Lipscomb's campus could walk to the famous Bluebird Cafe from here. Here's Emily Patty. It's a good-looking ball. Skied over the head of Grace Oliver, who is the lone exchange for Kevin O'Brien tonight, compared to his starting lineup on Wednesday. Oliver taking the place of Olivia Carpazza. Teo. This is well built by the Knights. And the hurried service. Drawing a crafty touch from Katia Hanger. And so far, a match played mostly in the two final thirds. Byler recruiting Molly Grant to the far corner. And that is going to touch a tree on the way out. Nearly found its way to Shackelford Road. We do keep extras here. And it looks like a Bellarmine reserve is going to go retrieve the ball for us. Nope, never mind. She's just delivering water behind the goalkeeper, Alyssa Francis. Don't forget the water. Oh, neatly done again by Hanger. This three-woman back line for Lipscomb in the 3-5-2 formation. Hanger joined by Shelby Kraft and Logan McFadden. That is one tough puzzle to crack. But also three center backs who are so comfortable on the ball. I mean, look at Kraft move forward here and carry her run as well. Grant. Rogers offside. So much of Lipscomb's attack generates from its back line. And Kraft has a relative green light to explore possibilities if they are shown to her. Here's Alex Harbor. Sliding in was Hanger. And a quick sub here for Bellarmine.
Checking in for the Knights, number
Less
12,
than 13 minutes in. Samantha Ferry will head to the sideline. And it looks like Zinnia Nava will come in. Nava, the sophomore from Georgia, does have a goal this year. Just one of the 5 goals that Bellarmine has scored. Challenge not for the faint of heart with Caitlin Eccles. Won the ball back, and that is an expert switch by Oliver, nearly connecting with Patty, the left back. Byler. Oh, how good is she? Almost found a crevice to slip through to Cammie Rogers. Byler is the straw that stirs the drink. A special player, number 5 in white. She can do it all. She defends, she's box to box, she's got an absolute motor, and she scores. 8 goals this year, a couple of them off penalties. Nava, the left foot. That's a good-looking shot and tipped over the crossbar by Gray. First sign of Fangs, and they come from the visitors. The Knights nearly with the breakthrough, and if they get a lead in this match, look out. It was a splendid strike from Zinnia Nava in one of her first touches. It drew the best out of Gray. And it does result in the corner kick. And perhaps a scripted routine here as the runners fly in. Nodded clear by McFadden. And furthered by Byler off a Bellarmine player. Well, if you came into this match looking at it on paper and said, okay, Lipscomb 6-0-1 in the ASUN. They don't have a loss in the conference. Bellarmine fighting to get out of the play-in match. You would think that this would be a game that Lipscomb would carry, but you know, they reverse back to a month ago when these two teams met in Louisville, and it was a close encounter. Lipscomb scored in the 8th minute off a corner kick, and it was the only goal in the game. Bellarmine is the team absolutely no one wants to face in the postseason. They can wreck a season. And they are one tough out with the way that they play defensively. Now the question is, can they find the goals? Either that or hope they're really good at penalties as the postseason looms. Wind starting to swirl. Shadows starting to lengthen. Play starting to open up. Patty with an acre in front of her takes the invitation. Delightful build-up play from Bellarmine. Touch from Nava let her down. And Lipscomb exploring the width of the pitch. Kraft is the pivot point. Downloaded by Patty. Grant sandwiched out of possession. Lipscomb will pry and prod. We'll try the middle corridor. Hurried service from Kraft. It's funny, you probably can't see it off of camera, but Kraft does like to make those entrepreneurial runs down the middle of the pitch. When she does, Caitlin Eccles retreats backwards to fill her center back position. You can see it here. Number 2 moves forward, 25. Stays deeper in the defensive line. And Kraft continues her run forward, and here's Eccles holding almost as the third center back now. And her and Kraft play this almost interchangeable role. Oh, neatly done. Lipscomb starting to hum. Switch ball from Schueck. Rogers. Good looking service. Nodded clear as Bellarmine stays resolute on defense. Zamborini able to turn past Hanger and ignite her team forward. Flag is up, and Nava could not hold her run. Really captivating first almost 20 minutes here. Just one real good look, and that came from Xenia Nava, requiring a more than ordinary save from Melissa Gray. It's been competitive. Been some really good runs of play, some good connected passes. Not a whole lot of opportunities, though. Exactly what we expected in this match. 0-0. Tightly wound, combative. And temperatures dropping quite quickly. Fans starting to unravel their blankets and exchange their sunglasses for extra warmth. I will do so as well as I put on the jacket. Here's Hanger. Byler. Oh, the step over, and it came from Patty. Lipscomb building triangles. Oliver. Studious defending from Alex Harbor. It's a really tough player to defend in Oliver. Harbor closed down by Oliver. That is a battle. Harper is taking the throw, and Oliver
checking in for the Knights, number 5, Lori
mirroring
Marcus,
player for Lipscomb.
Markley.
Elise Markley will head out. Team's leading scorer as a defender, 2 goals this year. She heads to the sideline. And I didn't quite catch who came in for her. I'll give you that in just a moment. There we go. It's Laurie Hargis who came in, the junior. And Vandergriff to provide the service, or will she? Harbor has ghosted up on the left side. Harbor's cross towards the back post. Still work to be done for Lipscomb. Bellarmine player goes down in the box. Ball dribbled out by Byler. And you just look at this Bellarmine team and you just wonder, how do they only have 2 wins? Played some expressive soccer on the road against the best team in the A-Sun. Is there a twist in the script here in Tennessee? And the high press for Bellarmine nearly yielding results. And now Byler a chance to explore. So cool, so composed. Kraft's touch was heavy. Got her into some trouble. Zamborini with Kraft in pursuit. It's still Zamborini. Still Zamborini. And Gray watches it wide. So quarter through this match, make the argument Bellarmine has been the better team. Chess match on the goal kick. Where is the Knights' line of confrontation? There it is. Lipscomb crosses it, and now the Knights press. Bisons play out of it. Oliver taken back by Ham. Nava beaten to the ball by Kraft. Oh, it's a dangerous back pass. Zamborini. Emergency defending. And it came from Caitlin Eccles. And another offside flag. And we'll go against Lipscomb. Or don't know what the call was if the ball's placed on the Lipscomb side of the field. Nevertheless, Bellarmine able to send the ball in. Can't be offside in your own half. Just a bit of disconnect by the Lipscomb players, coming back down to earth after their 7-0 rout over UNA. A rout that, in all honesty, as someone who called the match, could say it could have been way worse for the Lions. Some massive saves, a few misses from in close for Lipscomb. That game could have been 11, 12, 13-0, just based on the chances in it. And Lipscomb making a change. Grace Oliver out, and Olivia Carapazza in. So Lipscomb, I believe, with everybody out on the field, unless I missed somebody, this is their starting 11 from Wednesday night. Carapazza's first involvement is a necessary touch. Reclaimed by Harbor. Sent down the line by Carapazza. In pursuit is Rogers, forcing Vandergrift to make the safety first clearance. So Lipscomb looking for its third straight NCAA tournament appearance. Program that came into this season just like pretty much everybody else as a non-major conference team, saying it's just about being the best team we can be when the ASUN tournament rolls around. They had no illusions that there was a chance at an at-large bid with the shrunken NCAA tournament field. So Kevin O'Brien has tinkered with his lineup at the beginning. He's even changed formations at some points. It does feel like his team's probably playing their best soccer, all things considered, heading into the pivotal ASUN conference tournament that will decide the automatic bid that the conference produces for the NCAA tournament. Kraft under pressure. Patty crashing in. Opted for the diagonal. Schuick, Swiss International. Rogers running on. Rogers sliding in. This ball's rolling. If Grant watches it out, it would have been a Lipscomb corner, and, well, the inevitable. And the Bisons with their first corner kick of the evening. Lipscomb does not have a shot in this match. None off target, none on target. They scored on a corner kick, the lone goal against Bellarmine when these two teams played last month. Can they find the breakthrough here? Headed up, and the goalkeeper has to paw it away. The ball stays in play. And what's the call? It's a late whistle. And the call is corner kick to Lipscomb. And the goalkeeper, Francis, having to shrug off some sort of ailment. And Lipscomb will get to re-trigger here from the near side. Comes the corner from Carapazza. McFadden was first to it. Could not steer it on frame. And that will go down as Lipscomb's second shot on target. And both of those shots came in the sequence of corner kicks. Substitution for Bellarmine, Sophie Bish in, a freshman who does have a goal to her name. So Bellarmine has played 9 matches this season. 6 of them have only had 1 goal in them, whether that goal comes for the opposition or Bellarmine itself. Fits exactly in to the script that their matches usually play out. Bombarding run from Teo. Has options in front of her. Needed defending from Caitlin Eccles. Enough to defuse the attack, but Bellarmine now trying from the opposite wing with Sarah Kraus. Off her line is Gray. Got there just before Zinja Nava. He's been an injection of ideas and pace.
Checking in for the Lady Bisons, number 4, Tori Wheeler.
And the Bisons making a substitution. Manuel Schuick will head out. And Tori Wheeler in. Wheeler, really creative player, has a assist this season. Transfer from Georgia, coming off an injury to start the year. Here's Patty. Grant able to turn. Looked in the direction of Wheeler. Claimed by Ham. Rogers. Patty. Back for Rogers in space. Thunderous challenge from Sarah Kraus, taking no prisoners. This is deflected off a Bellarmine defender, and ooh, big collision. Francis coming off her line, clattering into Rogers, and Francis may have taken the worst of it. And Francis again hobbled. And also away from your camera, you can see Cammie Rogers as well, limping off away from the challenge. Remember, Bellarmine doesn't need to score tonight to achieve their goal. Ooh. Hard challenge from Teo. And draws the admonishment of the official. The closest you can get to a yellow card without getting one. And Teo will be on a short leash from here on out. Grant. Touch was heavy from Byler. Nearly won back by Eccles, who's been impressive here in her senior night. And a lung-busting run from Eccles back to win the possession for Lipscomb. Oh, sweetly done from Eccles. Been one of the best players on the field. Kraft. Hanger. Jumping the passing lane was Harbor, who's been splendid.
Checking into the Lady Bisons, number 15.
And Lipscomb
number 16.
making substitutions.
Into the Knights, number 30, Danielle Hagelin.
First one in, Haley Williams. Has played now in every single game this season as a substitute. And also Cammie McGee, a lightning quick player who has 2 goals and 1 assist this season for the Bisons. And for Bellarmine, they have brought in Brielle Hagelin, a 4'11" sophomore from Taylorsville, Kentucky. Lindsey Durham. Teo. Found its way to Byler. The tireless Kraft broke the program's fitness record when she stepped on campus and ran the beat test after transferring from Penn State. Some muscular work from Haley Williams. Carapazza. Closed down by Harbor. Byler off balance. And Bellarmine in business with Durham. Boy, Byler is locked in. Just what you'd want from your captain. And a tap on the back to congratulate the efforts of Lindsey Durham. Hagelin The substitute shot is saved by Gray. Did I not tell you that the sun wouldn't be in her eyes after about 30 minutes? She started the match shielding her eyes at the opening kickoff, and now stands in the shadows that encompass almost the entirety of the pitch. This is my first time seeing Bellarmine. They've never played here on this field because this is their first year in Division I. This is some team. They are disciplined. They combine well. They're clearly all committed. And you just wonder what the possibilities are with this team in the ASUN tournament. Tournament that historically has seen some of the underdog teams rise to the final and in some cases represent the league in the NCAA tournament. You just wonder where the ceiling is for this Bellarmine team. And just how stingy they are on defense. I mean, they can win the entire conference tournament without scoring a goal. If you're good at penalty kicks. And they have flustered a Lipscomb team that has scored 14 goals in its last 3 matches. Just an airtight defense for Bellarmine. Byler is offside. It's been a fun match. It really has. It's not going directly to YouTube Live Classic. Just 5 total shots in this game, and only 1 on target. At this point on Wednesday night, Lipscomb had 5 goals. Gonna have to go way back to find out a half in which Lipscomb did not have a shot on goal. Maybe they'll find one here. Wheeler. Nope. There's this building intensity, a match sitting at a simmer. Almost awaiting a flashpoint. It's a tough ball from McFadden, asking a lot of McGee. And some last exchanges here with less than 5 minutes to go in the half. Evie Reeder in, the freshman from Roswell, Georgia, the super sub, 2 goals, 1 assist. Byler. Oh, it's a neat pass. Shot hit off a defender. The offering from Williams. Reeder. Hanger preparing the service. Carapaza bearing down on Harbor. And Harbor has manufactured the throw. Harbor has been excellent. Lipscomb's thrown 2 different players at her in Oliver and now Carapaza, and Harbor has been up to the task. It's a really neat ball out of pressure too. Under 4 minutes to go. McFadden's clearance onto Shackelford Road. And over Shackelford Road into the neighbor's yard. Byler taking over. Maneuvering through. Cutting back is Byler. It's a good idea towards Reeder. Off her back foot. That's the first shot on target for Lipscomb. And the first save for Alyssa Francis. Not full stretch by any means. Nevertheless, a sign of intention from Lipscomb. Bombarding run down the far flank from Nava, who did have the chances, or excuse me, the half's best chance, which felt like half a year ago. And Nava's half has concluded as she is substituted out, and Kylie Smith in, freshman from Colorado, to play out the last minute and 40 seconds. Wheeler's touch towards the interior. Fans wanted a foul, didn't get it.
One minute remaining in the half. 1 minute.
And now just seconds left here in this first half. Wheeler driving right at Cameron Pichter. Past to Carapaza, connection fractured. One back by Eccles. Last chance here in this first half. And the ball rolls out for a goal kick, and that should do it for this first 45 minutes. Well, this one has been as advertised. The question was, who would bend tonight? Would it be Bellarmine who would concede to high-powered Lipscomb, or would high-powered Lipscomb find it hard to score against this Bellarmine team that has been so stubborn all season long? And right now, it is Bellarmine who has its grasp on the way this game will be played. 0-0 as the clock hits 0-0. 45 minutes of soccer down. And is there a winner in this match, or will Bellarmine get the result that it desires on the road, needing a draw or a victory against the best team in the A-Sun? Well, lots of questions. We'll see if we have some more answers when we start up the second half in about 15 minutes. Thanks so much for spending your Saturday night with us. I'm going to turn my headset down, take a break, and I'll talk to you in about 15 or so minutes from the Lipscomb Soccer Complex as we get ready for the second half between Lipscomb and Bellarmine. So here we go, ready to play again at the Lipscomb Soccer Complex. Bellarmine has dictated the play. They have forced Lipscomb to play their style of match. And we've got potentially another 45 minutes of a slugfest in front of us. 0-0 our score at the Lipscomb Soccer Complex. I'm John Freeman. Thank you so much for listening through our silent halftime show. The reason we have to do that is, well, they play music over the loudspeakers here, and we have to turn down the volume because we'll get copyright infringement, automated complaints from YouTube, and actually have to take the live stream down. So that's why we have to turn it down and can't talk to you or leave the crowd mic up during halftime. Nevertheless, teams back out onto the field, and Bellarmine on the front foot with Zamborini. Sends it wide for Nava, and then a shot from distance, and it's fumbled by Gray. All eyes on the assistant referee, who says no, it did not cross the goal line. And Samantha Ferry's shot nearly sends her Knights in front. And Bellarmine has flown out of the gates here in the second 45. And Lipscomb now must settle after being gifted a goal kick. So Lipscomb 7-2-1 overall, 6-0-1 in the ASUN. They are the #1 seed in the ASUN tournament. They will host an ASUN tournament match next weekend. This match has absolutely no effect on any of their tournament seedings. On the other end, Bellarmine has all to play for. They are trying to avoid the play-in match in the ASUN tournament. A win or draw today would lock up the 3rd seed in the North. So again, as we look at the negotiations on the field between these two teams, Bellarmine, they are in a position of power in the bargaining. They only need a draw. Lipscomb doesn't need anything, to be honest, other than momentum heading into the tournament. Bellarmine, however, they would accomplish their goal of avoiding the play-in game with a draw. So if this scoreline stays 0-0 and continues that way, you wonder just how committed they will be to attacking. That's what Kevin O'Brien told me when I talked to him, the Lipscomb coach. Talked to him in pregame, and he said, yeah, if we don't get one early and Bellarmine really gets organized in the back, it could be a tough night. And so far, that's exactly what has happened. Lipscomb has found very little space in. And here's Kraft. One back by Hanger, sending it in. Goalkeeper off her line, and Francis there to claim. Now I'm taking a look at the way Lipscomb is lining up, and I do have my suspicions that there may be a formation change. Give it another minute to play out. See how the players position. Schueck. Step over, drawing the oohs and ahs of the crowd. Here's McGee. Yeah, so Kraft is playing out high on the right, which would indicate potentially a switch to a 4-back formation here for Lipscomb. Which is different than their 3-5-2 that they began in. Byler crashing in. Byler goes down. Play continues. Kraft recovers. Bellarmine going route one. Chance here for the Knights to break it open. And they score! Isabella Zamborini. Bellarmine strikes on the counterattack. A goal that sends shockwaves through the ASUN, and the Knights have rattled the #1 seed. Bison's on the brink. And 2-win Bellarmine on the verge of something special. And what happened on the kickoff was Emanuela Schuick just started dribbling. She didn't actually pass the kickoff, and you can't do that. So it leads to an indirect free kick for Bellarmine. And the Knights send it in. Well, we got something brewing here. Bellarmine just scoring its 6th goal of the season. They have only conceded 8 times. And they are specialists in 1-0 victories. The only games they've won this season, that was the scoreline. And they have rattled Lipscomb. And it is a deserved lead for Bellarmine. They have outshot the Bisons. They have stayed composed. They have played honestly. They have tried to build through the midfield. Now their goal did come from a ball over the top, but it's not just smash and grab for the Knights. They've been resolute and defiant, and now they are hungry for more. No rebound afforded by Gray. Lipscomb scored 7 goals just 3 nights ago. And could have had more. They pulled their starters after about 35 minutes against North Alabama. And Patty afforded space, takes the invitation. Sends Rogers down the flank. First time service in for Grant. Can she turn? Across the box to Byler. Byler with her left foot skips off a Knight's head. Corner kick to Lipscomb. It's going to take Shelby Kraft a minute to step over and take it.
Lady Bison's on the corner kick.
Towering figure of Logan McFadden has ventured into the penalty area. Player's been known to score off of set pieces and off of corner kicks. Maybe a scripted routine here for the Bisons. Kraft sending it in. Byler was leaping. Schuick taking over. Slashed back in by Patty, and Grant is well offside and knew it. A position that Lipscomb has not been in many times this season. Trailing in a match. Byler. If there's anybody who can will this team forward, it is her. Kraft sending it in. McGee cannot steer the header on target. And Kraft has somehow generated a throw in for the Bisons, and now here is Byler on her left foot, skimming across the face of goal in the direction of Rogers. Lipscomb with 9 different goal scorers this year, averaging 2.5 goals per game. They are on a 4-game winning streak. Their 25 goals this year are tops in the conference. But had a hard time cracking Bellarmine, had a hard time in Kentucky. Oh, and the challenges come flying in. And here is Nava on the run. Kraft retreating to defend. Snapped away by Schuick. Softly down the line by Patty. Grant inheriting. Now Markley for Bellarmine. That's industrious work from Grant. And full-blooded effort from Zamborini, the goal scorer, who is buzzing now in Nashville. Teo trialing Patty, and Patty did well. There is a frenetic intensity to this match. It has the feel of a tournament match. And for Bellarmine, they would have to concede twice in this match to miss out on what was their goal coming in, to avoid the play-in game. Still only need a draw, so Lipscomb would have to crawl back 2 goals at a minimum to win this match. Still a long, long way to go. Bisons do have the luxury of overtime if they can force it. Where do we go from here? Bellarmine has only scored now in 5 games out of their 9. Goals are limited edition, but when they are scored, the Knights are quite dangerous. They've won 2 of the 4 games they've scored in. And only lost 1 of those 4. Good ball from Patty. Kraft's touch again long. Patty has an acre in front of her. Up high for Grant, offside. But a frustrated striker, Molly Grant. Several times she's been offside today. Our attendance figure is in. 137 on hand today. As good as it gets in COVID times. Spaced out in the bleachers underneath me. And a perfect night for it as well. We can only hope that next Saturday night will be the same when Lipscomb embarks on its ASUN tournament adventure with a home match. How about the job that Chris Tinius is doing? Bellarmine coach in his 7th season, his first year in Division I. You can tell this is a well-coached team. Tinius played nearby, about an hour north at Western Kentucky. Looking for his first tournament appearance since 2017. That was the Division II tournament that Bellarmine appeared in. Bellarmine team, though, that was very good last year in D2. They just lost in their conference tournament, 12-5-3. And they only get more defensive as the season rolls on, historically. Last year, clean sheets in 6 of their last 8 matches. Here's Byler. Now Schueck. Back for Byler. It's still Byler! Oh, what a hit! Kelly Byler, the golden boot fits. Game on at Lipscomb Soccer Complex. Byler is tied for the league lead in goals. 1-1.
Bisons go to number 5, Kelly Byler, assisted by number 9, Manuela Schueck.
When they need a goal, 5 in white is the one who provides it. It was a screamer from Byler. And Lipscomb now right back in this match. It was gonna take something special to break through against Bellarmine. And Byler, the captain, is the one that provided it. And if there is any doubt that she should be the ASUN Conference Player of the Year, that strike might have answered that question. She is special. 9 goals this year for Byler. She is a midfielder, not a forward. Byler is a midfielder and has 9 goals and is racking them up as this season continues. And now Lipscomb oozing with confidence. McFadden towards Grant. And there's a Bellarmine player who's down. And hobbling is Zamborini, whose goal has been erased. And Zamborini hobbling, but looks like she will stay on. Her goal earlier in this half was her first of the year. Wonderful switch from McFadden. Kraft's pass misguided. Zamborini's touch, linking up with Nava. Big run from Harbor. Zamborini. Bellarmine not attacking with numbers. Remember, they just need a draw. And the goalkeeper, Francis, out to claim. So all the storylines now up in the air. Can Byler be the sole leader in the ASUN Conference goal standings? Currently tied with 9 goals. Can Lipscomb finish its season without a loss in the ASUN, in the regular season that is, or can Bellarmine get the result they needed to avoid the play-in round? Everything to play for. Past the hour mark. Foul, free kick, Lipscomb. And Byler has tapped her chest at her teammate, saying, "This is mine." Also standing over is Schueck. Is there a moment of magic here? Not now. An uncharacteristic offering from Byler. So Zamborini checks out for Bellarmine. And back in the sophomore Brielle Haglin. Soaring header from Byler. Grant linking up with Rogers. Cross was denied by Vandergriff. Rogers reloads. Puts it into a good spot. Schueck hacking away. Kraft playing right back now and enjoying the offensive freedom involved in that position. That is so cool and neat from Eccles, who has been superb tonight, allowing Lipscomb to switch the point of attack. Patty's cross towards Byler. Crashing in is Grant. And a foul called on Lipscomb, or potentially a handball. That seems to be the signal of the referee. Yeah, so one of the unheralded players today for Lipscomb, who was offered some armor right in front of their back line, the holding midfielder in Caitlin Eccles. The player who Kevin O'Brien, the coach, telling me beforehand, she's probably the most decorated ever at Lipscomb in terms of team trophies accumulated. The ASUN Conference Championship wins, the tournament wins, the NCAA tournament win as well. She's been present and accounted for in all of those monumental moments. Doesn't really jump off the page in terms of stats enough to garner ASUN or all ASUN team recognition. She's just a player who shows up and gets the job done, does it quietly, plays her role, and does it to a T. And she has been one of the best players on the pitch tonight in her senior day. Her dog is also hung out with us. Brought her whole family for senior day, and her dog actually walked out with her on the pitch and is now up right here by the commentator's box. Here's Grant distributing for McGee. Nightfall in Nashville. We started out the entire field covered in sunlight. We will finish under the stars and under the lights. Last time these lights will be fired up in the regular season until August, late August or early September. It'll be a quick turnaround for the off season. Much faster than usual. And having talked to a bunch of coaches in college soccer, they said this spring season feels like a real season. It's had that feel, the length, the amount of games. Everybody just happy to get out onto the pitch. And some wholesale substitutions for Lipscomb. Be hard to track them all down. Do see Haley Williams out there along with Grace Oliver. Imagine Tori Wheeler. Yes, Tori Wheeler as well, and Reeder. So these were the 4 subs in the first half. And they have been brought in masse here in the second half. And Logan McFadden creeping up for this set piece. Kraft's delivery hoisted high into the Nashville night. Reeder's touch is heavy. And she has hacked down Bellarmine player. So you just wonder about Bellarmine. They're not just 22 minutes away from the result because they would still need to hold in overtime. It's a long, long way. But you wonder just at what point is their sole focus on the draw and getting the result they need. At what point do they bar the door, park the bus, if you will, Won't do any good if they concede here. Williams. Now Byler. Uncharacteristic touch from Byler, and then got called for pulling on her opponent. Kraft trying to show her defender the glow of her afterburners. And Sweet dribbling to open up space. And now here comes Bellarmine bombarding forward. Ferry hacked at by Reeder. Ferry continues. Wide for Harbor. First time service. Skips through one. Patty on the floor. Slashed on target and over by Ferry. Nervy moments for Lipscomb, and right when you wonder, is Bellarmine just going to try and lock the door? They step out onto the front porch. Hagelin turning. Launched in, and again cleared by the dependable Eccles. Who did this last touch? All eyes on the assistant referee, and McFadden knew all along. Goal kick to Lipscomb. Lipscomb with 6 shots in this half. Interestingly enough, the Bisons, they've been offside 6 times. It's not a stat we normally talk about in soccer, but it does speak to the defensive prowess of Bellarmine and how congruent their defending has been between all 4 in their back line. Handball called on the Knights. Kraft endeavors down the right flank. Eccles. Byler. Wheeler. Dealt inside for Oliver. Picks out Patty. Sure-footed clearance, and it came from Vandergriff.
Checking in for the Knights, number 21, Elise Markley.
And a substitution for Bellarmine. Elise Markley will step in, and going out is McKenna Ham. Kraft has driven herself into a spot of bother, and Heglin has taken over, trying to turn past McFadden. Had vital defending to do, and did it with aplomb. And now overcommitting was Kraus, and Lipscomb on the run. Williams. Saved by Francis, rooted to the spot. Never had to move horizontally. Compressed area in the midfield. Eventually the ball leaks back to McFadden. Williams was chopped down off ball. Set piece for the Bisons. Patty awaiting commitment. McFadden obliges. It's a good looking ball from Patty. Now Reeder. Not much conviction in the strike. And with 15 minutes to go, 1-1 the score. Bellarmine opened the scoring. Wonderfully taken goal by Isabella Zamborini. Canceled out just minutes later by perhaps the future ASUN Conference Player of the Year in Kelly Byler. Lindsey Durham has been brought in for Bellarmine. Player who does have an assist this year, the freshman. And Byler's been whistled for the foul. And for Bellarmine, chance to send Dark Kits forward. They've spread out the Lipscomb defense here, scattering their players along the edge of the penalty area. Do have an option wide, and they elect to take it. And a Lipscomb player down. And the foul called, and looked like it was Hanger who was down for Lipscomb. You can hear the faint voice of Kevin O'Brien in the distance. How good has Caitlin Eccles been tonight? Completely owned her part of the pitch. The pass let her down, but the rest of her game really has been a dominating performance for Eccles. Such an industrious player. Sublime in some of her contributions. But the players know, the coaches know, she really is one of the key cogs for this Lipscomb team. Foul called on Durham. Tension building. About a dozen minutes to go. Bisons elect to build out of the back. You can hear Kevin O'Brien. You heard him say, we want to get it to Emily and Shelby as much as we can. So Shelby would be Shelby Kraft, who's playing right back. And Emily is Patty, who's playing left back. So you can clearly hear the instructions of Kevin O'Brien. He wants the outside backs of Patty and Kraft to get the service and find their way up the flanks. That is the blueprint for Lipscomb to break through for the second time tonight. A goal that you would assume would be a winner if it comes. Really neatly done from Bellarmine. Nearly finding an avenue through to Sophie Bench. To take a touch off a Lipscomb player on the way out, and a substitution afforded.
Checking in for the Knights,
as
number 11,
Zinnia
Ham.
Nava will head out, and McKenna Ham, the freshman from Lexington, in. Ham going to offer a little bit more armor on the back line. Nava listed as a midfield/forward. Ham is a defender on the roster. And spun out by Hanger. Throw in for Bellarmine. Just about 10 minutes to go. As they continue to position their personnel. Zamborini back in, the lone goal scorer. As I said multiple times in this broadcast, Bellarmine is the team no one wants to face in the ASUN Conference Tournament. Playing them is a trip to the dentist. This team can knock off anyone in the tournament. With a defense like this, and also the commitment. They are on the same page. Ball's fallen in a dangerous spot. Slashing was Teo. Stepping is Pichter. Zamborini trying to turn. Instead, Wheeler does. Weaving through is Wheeler. Throw in to the Knights. Extracted off the foot of Reeder. Here comes Pichter. Rare misplay from Eccles. Zamborini nearly crashed in. Lunging effort from McFadden. Over the head of Williams. Fully committed from Oliver, and standing her ground was Kraus. Zamborini interested. Challenging Hanger into a foot race that Zamborini wins. Well done to attract two defenders. Ball's lofted in towards the back post. Hunted down and whipped back in. Again, how good has Caitlin Eccles been tonight? She has won ball after ball. In what has been a hectic, frantic match, she has been the player who has supplied stability for Lipscomb. The senior shining on her senior night. And wholesale substitutions again for Lipscomb. So they'll bring the cavalry back in. Grant, McGee, Rogers, and Schueck. And for Lipscomb, looking around, other than McGee, this appears to be the entire starting lineup for Lipscomb. McGee, can she trace this ball down? No. Surely any goal, whether it's now and then certainly in overtime, would be the winner. Just don't see 2 goals happening in less than 6 minutes. Overtime is sudden victory if we head to that point. Hacked high by Schueck. And out for a Bellarmine throw with under 5 minutes to go now in regulation. On the run is Nava. Brave defending by Hanger. Nava's an interesting character. She's played everywhere on the field. At one point was moonlighting as the right back and now the left wing. Headed out by Patty. Rogers can turn and go. She's got the pace. Sending Grant down the near wing. Rogers continues her run. The midfielders arriving for the harvest. McGee in the area. Rogers' touch was heavy. It fell for her, and she just could not control it in the crucial part of the pitch. And back comes Bellarmine with Ferry. Game starting to open up. Chased by Kraft. One back by Kraft. What a ball that is to Grant, who is offside. How many times is that today for Grant? She has given both ARs an arm workout.
Take it up, take it up.
Patty puts her head down and moves forward. Patty continues her run. The lone defender on that wing was Vandergriff. Took the brunt of the challenge from Grant. Kick from Francis directly out of bounds. Grant trying to turn her defender and does. challenge from Vandergriff. Under 2 minutes to go now in regulation in the final match of the regular season. Most irregular of regular seasons. Schueck. Eccles on her senior night. Comes Kraft. Sent back in by Eccles. Safely claimed by Francis. Byler. Over the top towards McGee. One back by McGee. And now Kraft has coasted forward. Lipscomb can win it here. Kraft's cross. Cleared away. Corner for the Bisons. Can they win it in the final seconds on the final day? Kraft heaves the corner in. Byler! Would have been a storybook finish. And if there was one player that you could say would be the one to do it, Kelly Byler will always be the first name.
10, 9,
And we look destined for overtime.
5, 4, 3, 2.
And here we go. 90 minutes, not enough to divide these two teams. We will head to sudden victory overtime. 2 10-minute periods. Bellarmine is 20 minutes of soccer away from its goal this evening, which is to get a result and avoid the play-in game. Lipscomb wants to head into the conference tournament, still undefeated in ASUN play. What will happen, we will find out. I'm going to put my headset down, take a quick break, and then we'll be back with overtime from the Lipscomb Soccer Complex. Well, we didn't want the A-Sun regular season to end, so we extended it. More soccer at the Lipscomb Soccer Complex. 90 minutes, not enough to find a winner between Lipscomb and Bellarmine. So into overtime we go. 2 10-minute periods that either run to their conclusion without a goal or ended immediately with one. Sudden victory on the table. And could Bellarmine snatch it early here? As McFadden called into duty, pressured by Zamborini. And a foul on Lipscomb, and Bellarmine a chance to set up a set piece. Remember, Bellarmine only needs a draw tonight to avoid the play-in game. This match has no implications for Lipscomb heading into the A-Sun Conference Tournament. However, it does put in jeopardy their undefeated season in the A-Sun. They are 6-0-1. 6 wins, 1 draw, no losses. And Bellarmine is heaving numbers forward for this set piece. Here it comes. Loose in front. Slammed away by Byler, the captain. Reclaimed by Byler. Oh, is she going to go for glory here? Wonder if that had been on her dominant foot. Now, Byler was cramping in the final seconds of the second half. Another foul as Teo hauled down. Another chance for the Knights to send numbers into the penalty area. Lipscomb has responded by holding a high line at the edge of the box. Bellarmine can't get sucked too far forward, knowing that the Bisons have home run ability in Molly Grant. Free kick from Vandergriff. Back post. Byler controlling the airspace again. Still work to be done for Lipscomb. Zamborini's shot parried away. Rogers in pursuit. Rogers winning it back. Down the line for Grant. Knight's throw. Well, I've called so many college soccer games in my 15 years of broadcasting. It always feels like there's an overtime winner. You very rarely see games actually end in a draw. This one has me wondering if there is another one coming, though. Chances have been few and hard to come by. McGee rushing forward. Grant. Trying to turn past her defender. Really sturdy defending from McKenna Ham. These Bellarmine players so confident with their backs to their goal. They have dealt with wave after wave from Lipscomb. And they have not made a mistake all night. Here's Kraft. Through the middle of the park. Pushing Eccles into the attack. Rogers is onside. Oh, splits her defender. And Rogers bearing in. Rogers! Great save! Tipped over the crossbar by Francis. And Francis, one of the best goalkeepers outside of the power conferences. Just 17 goals allowed over the last 31 games. And that's one of the reasons why she is so good in the air.
Get the head white.
But she does concede the corner kick. Sent back in. Twisting, contorting defense. Kraft. Towards Grant. Has space to turn. Across the edge of the penalty area. Eccles was bearing down. The best Bellarmine can do is the clearance from Samantha Ferry. 5 minutes gone in the first of 2 scheduled overtimes. Zamborini. Extracted off her foot by Hanger. And a Bellarmine player down. And the clock is stopped at 4:39. Well, this isn't a set piece for Lipscomb. Technically, it's a drop ball. And Bellarmine will do the sporting thing of not contesting the drop ball. And Lipscomb reloads. Here's Hanger with Kraft to her right. Telegraphs to Kraft. Takes a touch towards the interior. McGee back for Kraft. Grant is wide and onside. Wheeler. Byler. Oh, back heel. Lipscomb's in! Spun wide. Rogers couldn't turn it on target, or perhaps she did, and a save made by Francis because the call from the referee is a corner kick. What an inventive back heel from Byler.
Bison's on the corner kick.
And Lipscomb knocking on the door. Bellarmine just trying to hold on here. Here comes the corner. Punched away by Francis. Inherited by Grant. Trying to chop it back post. Could not wrap her hips around the ball. So Lipscomb, the better of the chances here in overtime. Bellarmine 13 minutes away from job done. 3 minutes away from getting a breather. Kraft, she has got some motor. Sending McGee to the corner. Loves to take players one-on-one. Stays with McGee. Rogers. Drawing 3 defenders. It's the 4th who clears. Reinserted by McFadden. Reclaimed by Wheeler. Here's Patty. Her cross chested away. And now Bellarmine a chance to run. Attacking with just 3. And of course, look who's tracking back to defuse the counterattack. The tireless Caitlin Eccles. Bellarmine sinking back. It's a 5-woman back line now for the Knights. Although Lipscomb finding inroads. Byler. Bison's picking up the pace. Patty with room to roam. Rogers knocked off balance and a free kick for Lipscomb.
1 minute remaining. 1 minute.
Under a minute to go here in the first overtime. Compelling match at Lipscomb Soccer Complex. The final match of the regular season. Emily Patty standing over the free kick. It's high, it's hanging, it's headed by Byler and retrieved by Rogers. Rogers trying to increase her angle, ran herself into a defender. Hurried by Gray. Bellarmine still with time here, about 20 seconds to go, and a chance to launch a counterattack with impunity. Teo.
10, 9,
Byler slid
8,
to knock it away.
7,
And that'll
6,
do it for the
5,
first overtime.
4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
So here we go. Teams will just switch sides.
At the end of the first overtime period, your score is tied at 1-1. There will be a 2-minute intermission.
So 2-minute intermission.
Another 10-minute overtime.
Yeah, we
period.
can't play
This
music
period is
over
also
YouTube Live or
submitted.
they'll take us down, and that would be quite a travesty with how much is at stake. So I'll turn the crowd down here, and we'll talk to you in 2 minutes. So here we are, the final minutes of the A-Sun regular season. A maximum of 10 remaining. Sudden victory, overtime number 2. Lipscomb and Bellarmine tied at 1 goal apiece. Bellarmine 10 minutes away from their goal of getting a result tonight to avoid the play-in game. Lipscomb on the front foot here. And it was Molly Grant who could not find the target. So Lipscomb looking to go an entire A-Sun regular season without a loss, 6-0-1 in the conference. And Bellarmine looking for just a point tonight. A draw would do it. And that would make them the 3rd seed in the North Division and would avoid the play-in game against UNA. So trying to simplify their quest in the ASUN tournament. A tournament that, boy, they could win. The way that this team plays. While Lipscomb will be the favorite, you feel like the Knights could ride a very dark horse. The Bellarmine throw in the final third. Haven't seen much from the Knights in the attack here in the last 20 minutes or so. Been hesitant to put numbers forward. They've got them here though. Ball goes underneath Eccles' legs. And now Patty. Chance to spark her team forward. Haley Williams running on. Confident defending from Vandergriff, who has been excellent tonight. Henger's header. Patty. Into a compressed area. That's last off of Patty.
Good effort, him.
Bellarmine throw for Markley. Zamborini. Poked off for her foot by McFadden. And a chance here for the Knights. And it was Samantha Ferry. Could not get a full purchase on her shot. Boy, can you imagine the tension if this was a tournament match? Penalties would be looming.
Ball does the work. That's it,
Schuick,
that's it.
wonderfully warped ball, curled across the field to Kraft. Grant beats the race to the inline, trying to square it across to Williams. Corner kick to Lipscomb. The photographer, Jay Wilkinson, hurries into position, potentially to snap photos of a game winner here for Lipscomb. Corner kick comes in. Byler was in the area. It falls in front. Tip save. Best of the night for Francis. And it was Eccles, one of the most unlikely of candidates to find herself close to the goal line with the ball at her feet. And Lipscomb reloads. Kraft's corner. Eccles again leaping. And we'll do it again. Lipscomb knocking and knocking and knocking on the door. Can they break it down here? Eccles' header. Goal kick to the Knights. And they're going to take their time here, as they should. Less than 6 minutes away from job done. Second half and overtimes combined. Lipscomb has 14 shots. They had 3 in the first half. One back by Byler. Down goes Byler, free kick. Patty is the interested party. One-man wall for the Knights. Is there a difference tonight? Down in the box. Oh, it's a penalty! Is it a penalty? Everyone looking at the referee. Oh no, he changed the call. The whole crowd thought it was a penalty. He pointed at the spot, but he was pointing at Byler, who was down, saying she was the one for the foul. I apologize. It took everyone here in attendance to take a deep breath. They all thought it was a penalty. That would have been quite a table-twisting call. Byler there again to repel Bellarmine's advances. And Schueck wobbled down.
Quickly.
Less than 4 minutes to go. Approaching our final deadline. Grant ran into a wall. Bellarmine in absolutely no hurry. They seem to really abandon all chances of finding the go-ahead goal. Just one lone forward up top now. They hunker back and lock the gate again. Eccles stepping forward. Chested down by Byler. Williams took a hit. Corner kick to Lipscomb. And more white jerseys strolling into the penalty area. 8 targets for Kraft to choose from. Under 3 minutes to go. Players congregate around the penalty spot. Corner set in. Eccles missed. Byler's close. Byler! Off 2 defenders. Hacked away by Kraus. McFadden loads up her left foot. Scuffed the service. Try the right foot now. That's good goalkeeping, as it has been all night from Francis, who has been superb. Patty turning. Kept that ball in play. On the run is Rogers. Approaching a minute left in our second and final overtime. Cross coming in towards Grant, and it's over her head. And that may have been the last chance for the Bisons. And Bellarmine going to make a substitution. And that doesn't stop the clock either, so perhaps substitution to take a little more time off the clock as well. If you're Lipscomb, you can hope for just one last half chance. Can they get one here at the death? 30 seconds left. Thrown in by Patty. Frantic finish.
20 seconds, 20 seconds.
It's 20 seconds now for Lipscomb.
Get it up, in the box.
Hanger heaves in a prayer, headed out.
7, 6.
Cleared downfield, and Bellarmine has done it. They came in needing a result to avoid the play-in game, and the Knights have gotten it against the top team in the A-Sun. Lipscomb's undefeated A-Sun regular season comes to an end. The Bisons, 8 matches in the A-Sun and 8 matches without a loss. 2 draws, 6 wins for Lipscomb, and for Bellarmine, this is some result on the road. Absolutely had to have it, and they got it. The Knights avoid that play-in round And they go into the conference tournament as one of the major dark horses, the team no one wants to play against. And Lipscomb will head in undefeated in the conference. Regular season in the A-Sun is over. The postseason awaits. Thank you so much for spending your Saturday night with us and all of the other nights that you have, if you have, watching on YouTube Live. I'm John Freeman saying so long from the Lipscomb Soccer Complex. The regular season is over, and now the real season begins.